First News with Keeler in the morning on WIBX and WIBX950.com.
Good morning. Good morning, Andy.
Good morning.
Good morning, Monaski. Good morning. Little rain out there this morning.
A little.
And,
Yeah, it's a little.
Yeah,
it's not bad. It's gonna make it worse today. Heavy rain.
Is that what they're saying? We could get a thunderstorm or two, right? Is it going to be a washout, though? I don't think so. Is it?
Hope not.
All right. Well, tomorrow looks nice. 80s, close to 80 degrees or so tomorrow with sunshine. And then it heats up for the weekend. Okay. How about the story, and we're going to speak with somebody later on this morning, the story of the two local guys who flew out west and ended up in, northwest to Alaska, and ended up crashing a plane, and it took them about 2 days to actually find them. And it's a wonder they survived the whole thing, but they walked away with minor injuries.
That is crazy. Anytime you are in a plane crash and you can walk away, that's a plus.
Yeah, I guess that is the case. But, there's a plane crash, and then there's the plane crash where you crash into a mountainside, right?
So,
and it includes a glacier, for God's sakes.
what were they doing? Do we know?
I believe they are they're hikers. I think they're two guys, 62 years old, from the area, who enjoy adventures like that, and they're both pilots. So they flew off, and it looks like they got caught in bad weather. And they're saying that out there in that part of Alaska, that the weather has been so turbulent this season that it's made it very difficult. In fact, the National Guard was already there searching for 3 hikers that had become stranded because of the weather.
So after the crash, they're what? They're on their own for 2 more additional days till they're found?
They used a device to send out a distress signal, and it was discovered about 3 hours after the crash, it's believed.
Wow.
And that would have made it around noon, 1 o'clock on Saturday. They were not. Now, remember, you're dealing in frigid, cold, stormy weather, basically on a mountainside adjacent to a glacier in Alaska. And they don't know that they don't know if they're going to be found, because every time the National Guard tries to come in, after they did discover the crash site, they couldn't get in because of weather conditions. They weren't rescued until after 2 a.m. on Monday morning.
Wow.
Okay, that's just a crazy story.
That's like,
and we'll speak with. They're still in Alaska.
38 hours.
They're still in Alaska right now. They'll be on their way back, and we'll speak with the daughter of one of the guys coming up later on this morning at about 7:40. President Biden, I'm going to just switch gears quickly, meeting with GOP Senator over infrastructure. And the signal coming out of the White House right now is let's get something done, because we are beginning to run out of time. This is that West Virginia senator we were talking about yesterday. Rachel, good morning.
Hey, good morning. Yeah, that's Senator Shelley Moore Capito. She was in the Oval Office yesterday talking about this infrastructure proposal, both sides of the issue. It's been that for just about an hour. No major breakthroughs announced here. So they're going to meet again tomorrow as the clock is ticking, because Democrats are really pushing the White House to go ahead and give the green light to go the budget reconciliation route, leaving Republicans behind on this, even though, Republicans have gone up to almost $1 trillion of spending, but still there's deep disagreements over what's the definition of infrastructure and how to pay for it.
Yeah. And so there's no guarantee, though, that they'd be able to push this through without Republicans.
That's right, because there's still some Democrats that could be on the fence about things like tax increases, corporate tax increases, like Joe Manchin of West Virginia. And not only that, a Senate parliamentarian has basically said Democrats can do this, but she's added some strings attached. And one of them is they have to get a budget going and get it through committee and go for what they call a vote-a-rama, where you throw on all these amendments. So it'd be a little more arduous than the first time around, and that one was pretty clunky, if you remember back to the coronavirus relief legislation.
All right, this is really going to be interesting. If there's ever, though, and I realize, Republicans will say he's Sleepy Joe, he might not be in control and all of that. But the reality is, the one thing Joe Biden is good at, it seems, is sitting down with the opposite side and hashing out a deal. He's done that through his entire career.
Well, yeah, and certainly it looks like a good faith effort on both sides, and both sides are trying to make it look that way. But the cynic in me thinks that maybe the White House doesn't think this is really going to come to a deal, but they want to certainly look like they did everything that they could to make this happen. But look, the two sides are just so far apart. Unless there's some kind of miracle that happens between now and tomorrow, I don't see it happening.
And here's another one. What if Biden does concede and comes closer or meets the Republican side? Then you have a far left portion of the Democrat Party, and who knows if he'll lose them in the process.
And that's part of the problem. They want to go big. Progressives in particular want to go big on spending. And if the president really capitulates to Republican demands, he's really between a rock and a hard place and has been since he started in office on a lot of issues.
Yep. Yeah. Very interesting. Okay. Thank you, Rachel. Have a wonderful day. Rachel Sutherland from Fox News. Yeah, I you got to kind of wonder. But, I mean, are they better politically? Are they better off pushing it, the progressive, better off pushing it and not getting it passed and being able to blame Republicans? Or putting a deal together and getting it done. Sometimes I think that politicians don't want to get things done.
Right.
Because then it shows that they worked with Republicans, Republicans worked with them, and it shows Republicans in a good light. So they may be politically looking at it that they're better off not getting anything done, which is just...
At our expense.
Correct. It is at all of our expense, all of us. And to be fair, that happens. It really does happen on both sides. Let's see. We have some hot weather on the way. We'll be up near 90 through the weekend and into Monday and Tuesday before it falls back down to cool weather. 78, 80 degrees.
Hey now, yeah.
I'll take that. Derek Jeter has now dropped the price of his mansion upstate. I think it's kind of like, doesn't he have a castle or something?
You can actually find this on our website. Let me go see, and I'll send an app.
I'll tell you, his Florida home where Tom Brady is staying is very nice.
I believe that his place in upstate New York.
Here it is, yes. So I'm going to send out...
And they just lowered the price on it, Andrew, so you might want to look into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, wow. I'm going to send out an app alert here. This is another reason to download the WIBX 950 app. I'll just send it out on the Keeler subscription, and you can check this out. These pictures are unbelievable. They're unbelievable.
It is. Would you describe it as a castle?
Yes, there are parts of it because there's a rock tower that the house, part of the house looks like it's a tower. He's got like a walkway over there where it looks like the roof of a castle. I could describe it as a castle. But you know what the interesting thing about some of these properties are? I know the economy is actually doing pretty well, right? We pumped a ton of money into it. But one of the concerns I'm hearing that I read that wealthy folks have is like, I don't know how many bedrooms are here, but some homes have like 50 bedrooms. You got to do all those sheets. You got to,
how do you
the upkeep on a home like that?
Where do you store the sheets? And God forbid if they're fitted, how do you fold those things?
Well, we're coming off a year where you couldn't be with anybody, so you didn't have guests at your house.
You're right.
So I want to say that's the case with like 50 Cent's mansion. Is that like it's some outrageous number of bedrooms, and he keeps dropping the price because he can't sell it. But it's a pain to maintain.
I'd say it does look like a castle, and it's one of those pools that on the edge of the pool, it's almost like an edgeless, or what do they call that, where the water comes right up to the edge of the pool. I mean, it's pretty beautiful. And where's that located, by the way?
1 second here.
And they're calling it's on a lake, and it is being called a lakefront castle. Well, he's dropped the price on it. If you're
what's the price now?
I don't know.
Okay, because in March he had actually dropped the price. We're talking went up for sale in 2018 for $14.75 million.
Yeah, It might have gone down just a little bit again. A Syracuse person is one of the first winners of New York's COVID scholarship giveaway, Andrew.
Yes. Hunger Games 2.0!
Well, and they get 4 years of in a SUNY school and room and board, right? Mm-hmm. For free just for getting the vaccination.
That's right.
Wow. There's an investigation going on right now where there are 16 women now that say that this pastor in Western New York at a Christian camp abused them. For decades, teenage girls across Western New York turned to Wayne Arum for guidance, friendship, and a connection to spiritual authority. He was a youth pastor at The Chapel, which is a large Buffalo area church, and later the camp president and Circle C Ranch, a Christian camp in rural Western New York, was a well-known presence in the religious ecosystem and the religion in the region, I should say, and was heavily involved in helping them navigate their adolescent problems. But now there are 16 girls who have come forward, 16 women now who have come forward, who say that they were abused by the pastor. You know, this is always happens with. It's always someone in a position of control, right? Mm-hmm. Position of power, someone that people look up to. Yes. It almost always seems to be that way. MVCC is advanced also in the women's soccer NJCAA Division III tournament. Did you see that? And there was play yesterday with MV and HCCC men. Was that lacrosse or soccer?
Soccer.
So a lot of postseason play underway right now. And how about this? I thought this was kind of an interesting story that in the New York City area, in Central Park, a lot of times you'll see pickup softball games and pickup baseball games. Did you see who is a regular at these games and playing, by the way?
No.
CC Sabathia.
Get out of here.
Really?
So, you know, there you are. You're playing. You're doing a pickup game and all, and you've got Sabathia as your as your teammate, or you're worse yet, you're playing against him. Sabathia says playing softball in Central Park was like a bucket list thing for him, and getting to do it with his buddies is even more fun. It actually draws a crowd as people start watching, and it is, I guess, something to watch. So that's pretty cool.
Does he still have the pot belly? I would imagine that he does, right?
I think he looks pretty good, at least according to this picture. If there's a belly there, it's not all that
I know he
pot
was
belly like.
Fluctuating a bit.
Stefan is in Utica. Good morning, Stefan. 6:30 on the mark. You're starting off the morning for us. Good morning.
Well, good morning, Bill, Jeff, and Andrew.
What's going on this morning?
Well, tomorrow is opening night for the Utica Blue Sox.
Oh, I'll bet you'll be there,
In the Perfect Game Collegiate Baseball League.
Yeah.
They host Auburn at 6:45 p.m.
Will you? Do you think you'll be there? You think you'll be there for this?
I might be there, and the Blue Sox also have a store in Sanger Town Square Mall, with batting cages and Blue Sox apparel in the store.
Yeah,
have you tried out the batting cage?
It's kind of a cool. It's kind of a cool thing. Have you?
No, I have not, but I bought a hat there.
Very nice. Okay.
Yeah,
Are you still working? Sorry, Jeff, to cut you off. I was just curious about how Stefan.
Yeah, he's still working,
where
right?
Stefan is working? Yeah, I think he's at Texas Roadhouse.
Still at Texas Roadhouse there? You
he
liking
went
it?
somewhere else, didn't he?
No, he went.
Yes, I am. I love it.
Yeah.
Oh,
right,
good.
Right.
Yeah, they treat you right at the Texas Roadhouse, right?
Yes, they do.
All right.
So they that's their new slogan. They treat you right at the Texas Roadhouse.
I think the slogan is "Yes, they do."
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's the slogan.
You mentioned the Utica Blue Sox. They do begin their season. I can't believe today's Thursday already. I thought it was Wednesday until just now. But, okay, so Friday night, they kick off their Perfect Game Collegiate Baseball League season. And I mentioned this, the guy pitching against the Yankees today, Ryan Yarbrough, played for the Utica Blue Sox in the PGC, BL, yeah, whatever.
League game of
Correct.
ultimateness.
So that's another. I've written a couple pieces online about guys who came up through that college league and played locally, and they're stars in the Major League Baseball.
All right. Okay, Stefan, thanks for the update.
You're welcome.
I have to say, we saw you the other day. You were walking into a restaurant over by Home Depot, and you were looking at the menu, and I tried to grab your attention, and you didn't see me, and by the time I got up to chase you down, you were gone. Yeah.
He couldn't even see you in the rearview mirror.
No, couldn't. Do you remember that? Do you have any recollection of that?
Yes, I do, and hopefully sometime we can all do lunch sometime.
Yes, we're getting to that. Have you been vaccinated, Stefan?
Yes, I have both of them.
Nice, good for you. Okay.
Yeah, good for you, man.
Stefan, I also want to say...
When's 72 reopen? We should. That's where the last place we went with Stefan, right?
It was, yeah.
Stefan, I do appreciate you checking up on me on Memorial Day. The phone call was very much appreciated.
It's very nice. All right. Stefan, run along. Have a wonderful day.
Take care, buddy.
Have a great day. Stay dry.
Yeah, it's a little wet out there. This just blows my mind where people take something that is like, and I get it. Okay, so years ago, when for instance, there'd be a black character in a TV show or in a movie, that they would they'd use blackface,
right?
And they'd take a white person, dress them up as a black person, because you wouldn't hire a black person, right? Correct. I mean, that's what it was like, and so there's there's been over the years a major movement to say you don't hire a white person to play a black person. Hire a black person. It's pretty simple, and because there's a discrimination there. Even when they need someone in a black role, they would hire a white person to do it.
Also, I've never seen these movies. This predates, right?
Well,
both of us by a
they're
lot.
Exaggerating,
right? There's a lot of stereotypes and
Native Americans and that sort of thing. But ultimately, it comes down to they won't even hire a black person for a black role.
Right.
So that certainly has changed over the years. But then you take that concept, and which I think is a good cause. The fighting that was a good cause. Now you have an Oklahoma State teaching assistant that is saying she is refusing to teach Spanish because she's not Mexican. She's white. Therefore, she cannot, in good faith, teach the Spanish language. That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Is it because she's overly woke?
She's saying, no, she's not giving up her job. She's saying she can't teach Spanish.
So this is a woke thing, right? This is where she does not feel worthy, or she feels it would be wrong for her as a white person to teach Spanish?
Jessica Bridges, according to her LinkedIn profile of the same name, is set to receive her doctorate in Social Foundations of Education sometime in 2021, although it was not clear if she'd already completed her coursework. The comments were reportedly made during the Southern Connecticut State University's virtual Women's and Gender Studies Conference. She says, quote, racism originates with and is perpetuated by white people. Bridges, which is it's usually people of power. It's usually the dominant race. It's not necessarily, and I guess that would oftentimes be white people.
Right.
But
in our case,
Bridges says in the video, at another point, she asserts that white isn't right. Now, she is white. Because everybody needs a slogan, right? You got to name everything something. White isn't right. Bridges vows to confront her internalized white supremacy by not teaching Spanish. Learning Spanish from a white woman, I wish I could go back and tell my students not to learn power or correctness from this white woman, she says. Dismantling white supremacy in society looks like dismantling in my heart first. It means I'm not going to teach Spanish.
Okay, I have two thoughts. I hope I don't lose one of them. The first thing is, you said she's not giving up her job?
Well,
does she want to be paid and then she's just not going to teach?
I am
with her doctorate?
I'm assuming she teaches more than just Spanish. I'm assuming there are more classes that she, but I'm making that assumption. I don't think she was hired to be just a Spanish teacher.
It's a high school teacher?
This is college, Oklahoma State.
College. I mean, I know in high school, our Spanish teacher only taught Spanish. It wasn't like she did math for 8th grade.
But in college, it is not that way necessarily.
Okay. So here's my second thought.
And it's irrelevant. It's an irrelevant. Just the point is, whether she gets fired or not, I don't even know. And maybe they should fire her. But the fact that she believes this is just crazy.
So
it's like saying a man can't teach gender studies. Or women's studies, right? That's the theory, that would be her argument.
Well, the thought process is racist.
Or a doctor couldn't be, and some women will prefer when they go to a gynecologist that the gynecologist is a female. They prefer that. They specifically seek out a female gynecologist. Mm-hmm. But there are male gynecologists. Just because you're a male does not mean you can't be a.
But even the premise is to me, it seems kind of racist. It's like saying.